everybody. I appreciate y'all tuning the channel today with us here at 323 Fabrication. It is a beautiful, cool Monday morning. I've had a cup of coffee, so I'm still working on it. But took the day off. Figured I deserved it. I haven't took a day off from my day job in, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. So take the day off. I'm gonna go to the shop, get started, get working on some stuff. But I was working on editing some footage for y'all. And if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you tuning in with us. This is gonna be part 4 of us building this little 7,000 RPM LS 5.3 LMG motor, which is a Gen 4 iron block motor out of a Suburban. I bought it secondhand. The stock block, the short block is stock, I'm sorry. So it's a stock bottom end. Big tick polluter, V2 cam, ported 243s that I ported, a set of BTR 660 platinum springs with titanium retainers. We did a bronze trunnion upgrade, so if you want to see any of that, just go back a couple videos. But we're putting this motor in a 1964 Chevy II Gasser, and this is a car that, this is my first real old hot rod. I've had a lot of late model stuff and I had a 3rd gen Camaro in high school we built. I've got this Datsun behind us that I've never finished. Need to work on that too. But we got a lot of project cars. I'm just a young guy that likes old stuff and, you know, missed that generation where you could get it affordable. So we kind of just, you know, we buy some crusty stuff and get it put back together and enjoy it. So if you're new to the channel, hang out with us. If you enjoy the video, throw it a thumbs up at the end. But either way, I appreciate y'all being here with us. Check it out. We got a few of our shipments in. We got our Summit Racing shipment in. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all see. Universal cut to fit plug wires, $59.95. So these right here, let me open them up, show them to y'all. I looked on, you know, like Tick and ICT Billet and all these other people, and they had LS cut to fit coil relocation plug wire kits, and they were all $100, $110, $120, something like that. And maybe they're better quality, I don't know. I mean, a spark plug wire, if it's a decent size and isn't cut, is going to do its job. These were on Summit, and that's the part number. But they were $59.99, and we're relocating the coils, so we needed these. Go put them over here with the other parts. And then we got, I got a new timing cover from them, LS3 style. Brand new wire loom deal and bracket, and a brand new sensor, all from Summit. And that's kind of magnetic, that's cool. But they had these in stock. This stuff did come from Texas though. Got some for the Pontiac GTO. I got some of the later light metallic blue to do the engine with, because we really like this POR 15 engine paint. This is the way to go. It takes 2 coats, but it looks so much more vibrant, and we think it's going to hold up better, hopefully. And then I ordered Dad a can for his Hemi, and when we get kind of wrapped up and get a couple more things done, but when we go to clean the shop up before we start something else big, we're going to get his motor out and paint the heads and the block, and then, you know, kind of assemble it a little bit more and put it in the office where it'll be out of the dust and everything, and it'll look really cool because we got a spot in there where we can put it. And then I was going to show y'all these. So Hannah and I went to a thrift store a while back, and I forgot I bought these. They've been in her Jeep. We're going to hang those on the wall. And then called the parts houses on Saturday to try to get a set of lifter trays so we could finish putting the motor together, but I couldn't get any earlier than today, or actually Tuesday. And I got these Amazoned today. Today is Monday. These are genuine GM. And they were cheaper. They were like $9 a piece. It was $43 for the set. So that's the way to go. Get those off Amazon. And I think that's all we got in. These are what we were waiting on. Oh, putting a bench seat in the car, right? So seat covers are like 12 to 16 weeks back ordered. I'm going to do saddle tan interior, saddle brown, whatever. So I ordered a blanket to cover it temporarily, and the 57 pickup's also going to get a blanket seat cover, but it'll get one permanently. So these are the 2 I ordered. We're going to open them up, kind of check them out. This color kind of goes with the car better, but this blue is the one I was going to run in the truck. So we'll open them up, see what we think. You know, maybe throw the seat in there and drape them across to kind of compare. But I actually ordered brown carpet already, or dark saddle carpet, so with the insulation on the back of it that's coming in, and I ordered it for an automatic. That way, because the molded carpet, the offset of the hump is way over here, and I didn't want that issue, so I ordered automatic. We'll just trim it and try to make it look good. I think Josh is going to help me with that. But pretty excited about our seat covers. Just got to figure out which one. This would be a lot better if it was that green, but I don't care. It's going to be awesome either way. We'll check them out. But that's what we got in today. So now what we're going to do is swap these lifter trays out on the motor, get those DOD lifter trays out of it, and start putting the motor together. Y'all saw us time lapse all this together, and so what I'm fixing to do is show you a little bit about it while we're running the time lapse. But go ahead and kind of explain a few things. So obviously, this is a Gen 4, all the big head bolts are the same length. These are all the small ones. I'll show you the torque sequence in just a second. So these big ones come with these washers. The tapered side goes up, this side grabs the head. Okay, these are, we clean these. They're supposed to be oil and grease free on the bottom side so that they grip the head. And then you take your ARP fastener assembly lube and you put it on the threads and on the bottom side of the head before you install it. But you put the washer up there first. Same thing with these. Now these washers for these small bolts up here, they don't have any kind of grooves on them for grip, but they are tapered on one side. So the taper, move my finger. So the taper goes up. Same thing with these. Taper goes up right here. This side goes to the head to grab the head. And I cleaned all these surfaces prior to doing this. Now we've already torqued the other side, but I'm going to show y'all. I save my instructions and I print stuff out so that I don't have to go look at my phone every time I need to look up stuff. But this is your sequence. It's numbered. These are the steps. All the big bolts, 25, then 50, then 80. And then after that, you do your little bolts to 25. That's the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 times. And then you do your little ones last. So that's what we got going on. I just wanted to explain a little bit of that. I'm going to go ahead and torque this other side down after I install these other 2 bolts. And then we're going to keep on assembling a motor. We're not going to be able to do rocker arms and push rods and all that because I don't have them. We're going to check the measure. We're going to measure one, get a measurement. I got to call Tick Performance, and they're going to send me a set of a set of push rods. I talked to them the other day for this cam kit that was ordered 3 or 4 years ago. They're jam up folks. Y'all should check them out. Then we'll get our sweet timing cover on and all that stuff, oil pan, and just kind of keep plugging along.
studied on it a little bit, but you're supposed to line your timing cover up before you tighten it up. And I don't know what they torque to. I can look that up in a minute. But point is, you're supposed to have a tool. And they sell a tool to do this, or you can use an old balancer. And if you're like me and you hoard up parts, this thing is warm. And I'll show y'all how I did this in just a minute. It is really warm. I'm gonna put
some water on it.
I'm gonna put it on the crankshaft now. But you're supposed to line it up. So I took an old balancer that was junk and cut it off, and then took a flapper wheel, like what goes on the end motor, and honed the inside out of it till it would slide on the crankshaft without resistance. And then I cleaned the outside up too, so it'd be smooth on the seal. And all you do is just put it on like that. I pulled it back out a little to make sure the lip on my seal's not folded over. So right there it's centered up, and now what we're going to do is tighten the timing cover. And I'm going to check just for fun because I don't know if these torque. Let's see. Transmission bolts, rocker on, oil pump, camshaft retainer, crankshaft, oil pan, pan to block, pan to front cover bolts. 18 foot-pounds. So they do torque. 18 foot-pounds.
Thing's not hard enough to don't you see it.
No. So I'm going to go ahead and torque these. And it doesn't have any specification for how to do it, so I'm just gonna do it. But it's so I'm gonna alternate those. Just figured y'all might want to know about it. I read about it. So instead of buying a $30 or $40 tool or whatever it costs, you can get them on Amazon or Summit Racing or whoever. I made one for free out of an old balancer we had. We got quite a few of those. So we just tried to find one that wasn't in great shape. That's all there is to it. Timing cover's on. Next is going to be the oil pan, pickup, windage tray. But y'all can see, that's all it is. It's an old balancer, and I'll show you. There's what's left of it. Cut it out of there and smoothed it down so it wouldn't, wouldn't snag you or nothing. And then came in here and chucked it up in the vise and wore this old flapper wheel out. This thing's trash now, but it slides on. It has a hair bit of resistance, but that's okay. That means it's not honed out too much. It's not flopping around. So now we should be good to go, and that shouldn't leak. All right, so this is a stock windage tray for our Gen 453. And what I'm fixing to do is rip this right across here and then kind of, clean it up. And we can't test fit it till the oil pan dries, but Dad put a coat of clear on it so it won't hold as much dirt and grime. He's got a Hot Rod magazine where they're used a Summit pan that looks just like that one. It's probably all made in the same Chinese factory from the Chinesium mines. But I'm gonna rip this because that's about where it is in the pictures, and then we'll test fit it all, and hopefully it's good to go. If not, I'll cut a little bit more. But that's just kind of what I came up with to start with. And this is the front, as you can see. It says front. And we're gonna see if we can get a pan on that bad boy and lay all the, well, we gotta measure our push rod length today. That way I can order push rods tomorrow. Get some valve covers on it and valley pan just to seal it up so no more dirt gets in it now that it's pretty well assembled. But that's what we got. All right. So here's the end we cut. That's what's left. Hosed it off with some brake clean. We're gonna set it on here and then grab the pan and test fit it. See what we got. Check it out. How awesome is that? ICT billet valley pan for the O-rings to block off the oil galleries for a Gen 4 DOD motor. Holley fin tall valve covers for an LF. It's a Summit timing cover. That's a Amazon oil pan, but Summit sells the same one. ICT billet motor mounts that we modified. It's a flat top Gen 4 5.3 with valve reliefs, ported 243 heads, ARP head bolts, BTR 660 platinum spring kit with titanium retainers, a tick polluter V2 cam. LS1 max effort cam, by the way. The SH003, not the 5.3 version. This thing should be a ripper. So stoked about it. I mean, absolutely, this is going to be so awesome. I am looking forward to 7,000 RPMs for the shifts. It's killer. Love it. The it's got a good look to it though. Guess we need to measure our push rod length. Keep working on it. Alright, got the gaskets and the valve covers, and it's just snug, but got all the bolts in it, but that's what happens. That's what makes an LS ugly. You can dress them up, make them pretty, but when you put one in plastic intake manifolds on it, it just kind of kills it. But this is temporary, and when I say temporary, you know, it might be a couple of years, but I've got a 6.2 we're going to build, rec port motor, and do Speedmaster stack injection on it is the hope and the dream. So it'll look better. But other than the manifold, it looks really good, and we're probably going to paint the manifold. Well, I can tell you we're going to paint it, I just don't know what yet, because the black plastic doesn't look real good. Alright, y'all, I'm going to learn you a little something today that I learned. I guess we learned together. So we're checking our push rod length on this motor to make sure, because I got to order a set of push rods. And if we had a little more piston to valve clearance, I would probably preload them a little more, but we're not going to do that. We were going to go 75 thousandths preload, but we're going to go back to 50. A lot of engine builders recommend 75 to 100. And I'm going to talk to the guys at Tick tomorrow and kind of tell them about what I've read or what we've measured and all that mess and see what they think. But we've got this comp, and I think the part number is a 7702 comp cams push rod length checker. The way this thing works is you've got to be able to focus on it with your phone. So see the little dotted lines? Right there, right there. So those stay lined up, and for every turn you come out from the beginning is 50 thousandths. So this thing's 6.8 inches originally, we come out 10 turns and got 7.3. And we had, I could still, come on phone. I could still move the rocker arm up and down. So we come out another 5, and that seated where you could wiggle it side to side, but there was no up and down play, and it hadn't started loading the lifter. And if I come out another 50 to 7.4, which is the factory length for this motor, by the way, then you end up with a little bit of preload. And we talked about going 75 thousandths preload. We're doing some reading on engine builders and all that, but little concerned about piston to valve clearance. We've got a pile of it, but you know, it's 7,000 RPM, and I just little concerned about it. The safer bet's just to leave it alone at 7.4. Gives us about 50 thousandths lifter preload. But the way this tool works is you run it out to where you want it. You stick it in there, put your rocker arm on, and run it down to where you've got no up and down play. Just can move it side to side, and then of course you'll torque it. But this is going to be bottomed out. And you set your preload by pushrod length. So if you want, let's show you this. So if you wanted 75 thousandths preload, then we would have taken our 7.35, because see, that's the tool length where we spun it out, and we'd have added 75 to it instead of 50, which would have gave us 7.425. And they do sell push rods in those lengths, but 7.4 is going to be the safer bet. But I am going to talk with the guys at Tick tomorrow when I call them to order a set and kind of see what they recommend. But we got like 200 and probably 250 thousandths worth of exhaust valve clearance. It just did start to touch the clay, and the clay was at minimum a 1/4 inch thick, which would be 250 thousandths. So I'm not exactly sure, based off the geometry of all this, how much 25 is actually going to change down in the hole, because it is really just lifter preload. But if that equates to more rocker arm movement and more valve opening, it's one of those things. I got to talk to somebody that knows more about it than I do. But that's kind of where we're at with it. I just wanted to show y'all kind of how that works. This push rod's in here because what we did, we needed to be on the base circle of the intake lobe. And when the exhaust lobe starts, or the exhaust valve starts opening, that's why this push rod's higher, then you're on the base circle of the cam for the intake. And that's it. That's what I've learned today. Did you learn anything?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what, but I learned something. No, it's all pretty interesting. I'm sure you're right. You could go 7.425 and be fine.
Yeah.
And load the plunger and the lifter another 25 thousandths.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I want to talk to somebody that knows more about it, and I mean, that's what those guys do. That's why, so that's the reason we have this push rod length checker and not a whole set of push rods for this motor with this cam kit, because at Tick, when you order the length checker, they don't send you your push rods. They expect you to measure them and then give them a measurement and order the right length. And so, that was 3 or 4 years ago, but they're pretty awesome folks. I talked to them the other day, and they said just get it measured, let them know what I need, and we'll go from there. A 5/16 80 wall is kind of the standard in your hardened push rod. That's what these are. These are Pro rods by Pro Comp. But two of these are bent out of this set from me closing 2 valves with a piston in another LS1. So we can't use those. And they make a 3/8 with an 80 wall, and then they also make 5/16 and 3/8 with a 105 wall, but it raises the price of the push rods $100 a set. So we'll figure it out. There it is. All right, so the only thing left, obviously the balancer's not on it. We have to put valley pan's got to go on it. Pilot bearings got to go in it, and there's no push rods in it, but the push rods came in, so I'm gonna show them to y'all. They're really nice, from Tick Performance. There they are. They are 7.4 inch. We measured them. 80 thousandths wall Tick Performance push rods, 5/16 size. So that's awesome. We got those, and we're not going to put them in till we're getting close to firing the motor. That way it stays sealed up good. But we are going to start working on putting the motor and trans together and putting them in the car. So that's where I'm going to end this video, guys. So if you want to tune into the next episode, or maybe 2 episodes from now, I don't know how long it's going to take till we're ready to lash the valves in. But it's real simple on an LS. I'll show y'all how to do that. But until then, that's the plan. So that's where this video is going to end, but I hope y'all enjoyed building the motor with us. It should be a little ripper, you know, 7,000 RPM, 450 horse maybe, pump gas, be pretty sweet. But I appreciate y'all tuning in the channel today. I appreciate all our new subscribers. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, tell your buddies about it. All right, y'all be blessed.